James Harden Garland swap. That's probably one of the biggest ones, obviously. So blockbuster trade, All-Star guard James Harden, Darius Garland got swapped, and that officially ended the core four in the Cleveland era. And shifted the veteran Harden back to the Eastern Conference yet again. So outside of Darius Garland, the Clippers also got a 2026 second round draft pick. So I think they got, as far as like the Cavs, they got James Harden, they got Keon Ellis, they also got Dennis Schroeder as well too to go along with that team. But what were your thoughts on that trade for both parties?
I think it's a great trade for the Cavs, which I know runs counter to some people's idea because James Harden is not good in the playoffs.
Mhm.
But I think even James Harden's not good in the playoffs is still better than what we've seen from Darius Garland in the playoffs.
Yep.
And you also now have Donovan Mitchell, who hopefully, can take some of that burden. He's known for showing up more in big games, way more than James Harden is. So hopefully you have a little bit of a balance there. But I mean, they weren't getting anything out of Darius Garland these past 2 years. He's been dealing with foot injuries for a while and hasn't really looked like himself for the most part. So, and definitely it seemed like he had a trajectory or he was going upwards, and it's clear that at least for now is really stopped. He's just exactly this guy that he was when he made his first All-Star team, basically, which is cool, but it's not nowhere clear, nowhere close to a Hall of Fame. Honestly, I don't even think an All NBA caliber player. So replacing that with James Harden, especially for the regular season, I think is a huge win for them, especially in this depleted ass Eastern Conference. And I think that's really why they made the move is like, okay, this is the year. We know James Harden is old, but they for sure at least have this full year and I think, or this half of the year, and I think next year as well. So 1.5 years, when the conference is pretty weak is worth the shot, especially for a guy who, couldn't stay on the court and also being an undersized point guard is tough. Especially now you're playing two undersized guards because Donovan Mitchell's like 6'3". So at least you get a little bit more size. I know Harden's not like a defensive guy, but neither was Garland. So yeah, for regular season, I feel like this absolutely raises your ceiling. Postseason, I think that it still gives you a boost. It's not like I'm saying that he's going to save them when the time comes, but I'll take him even on some of his worst nights from instead of what I've seen from Darius Garland these past couple of years.
Yeah, nah, I've never. I mean, I respect Darius Garland, but I've never gravitated towards him. I'm just not really too much of a fan of small guards as well, too. And like you said, ever since that Dame and CJ McCollum experiment in Portland, that was such a turnoff for me. So I was like, what makes you think it's gonna be even better? Team linking him with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, granted, outside of that, they got some size, but at the end of the day, in the playoffs, it's all about hunting mismatches. So, like you said, I'd rather have James Harden, who's 6'5", 220, 230, play as opposed to Darius Garland. Like you said, Darius Garland always been hurt as well too. I feel like he can never. I feel like with him is like we haven't seen the Darius Garland we wanted to see ever since Donovan Mitchell came. So I think they kind of didn't necessarily have the best chemistry together. So hopefully with this situation with the Clippers, he can play a lot more better and he can actually be a lot more healthy. But I'm happy for Donovan Mitchell because he's one of the best scorers from a guard standpoint as well too, and he definitely is one of those very few players who elevates his game in the playoffs. So now he can just focus on being a primary scorer as opposed to feeling like he has to do everything on his own from an offensive standpoint because that can get a little draining trying to get your buckets, but also be aware of how the game's going and trying to facilitate and all that stuff. So James Harden is perfect for that. James Harden, even at this age, is a lot more durable as well too. And like you said, we know what we're going to get out of him in the course of an 82 game season. Playoffs is another story, proven track record of flameouts. But like you said, I'd rather have that based on I'd rather have that as opposed to Darius Garland as well. James Harden will probably give you at least three, four good games, but as the series go on, it's a little nerve wracking. Um, but yeah, man, like you said, with the Zubac trade, James Harden, no matter where he goes, he elevates all of his bigs from Zubac to the Capellas, to an extent. What was his name? Nick Claxton as well too. Joel Embiid. So he's definitely going to elevate Jaren Allen, give him a lot of easy looks under the basket. And I'm excited to see whenever Mobley comes back from injury, like what that kind of all looks like together. So if there's any year to try to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals, is this year. But it's really going to just come down to matchups, honestly. But it's kind of hard to say that knowing his playoff failures that he's had. But every year is a new year. You know what I'm saying? And as for the Clippers, I mean, you don't have to pay James Harden. Darius Garland has been hurt on a contract friendly deal to an extent. And if it doesn't pan out on his expiring year, you can just trade him to get more assets back as well too. I'm sure there's a team that will want to have him. So we'll see what that looks like. I'm definitely going to try to check out a game whenever he's healthy to see what that kind of all looks like together with him, Kawhi, Benedict, all them. But yeah, I mean, I know he's happy to go from being in Cleveland to La La Land where the weather's amazing.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how this rocks out. I mean, even if we done at a certain time, I might tap into that fourth quarter. They playing the Cavs playing the Nuggets right now,
Oh
so
yeah.